What's up, everybody? This is Zack, aka Zacky, creator of Lag Radio and many more podcasts on the website Zack.coffee. That's ZSCK.2FFE. This is Coffee with Zack in English. So let's go ahead and drink a cup of coffee. So I got a cup of coffee here. It's decaf, obviously decaf. I'm wearing my Hideo Kojima Production t-shirt right here. It's really hot, so I'm not wearing my polo right now. We're going to go ahead and go back in time for Monday. Monday, lundi, August 4th. That was yesterday. So let's go ahead and do the content curation for that day and go straight through it because I have to do another video in French very quickly as well. So let's go straight into it. Okay. Buy now, pay later is taking over the world. Good. Buy that burrito and don't let anyone judge you. This is an article by the Economist. Be sure to check out the article. Great article. Up next, by 1843 magazine, Dying for Gold, Who Killed the Miners in Buffles Fontaine? Be sure to check out the article on 1843 magazine. After that, we have an article by the Economist podcast. It's not an article, it's a podcast. So be sure to listen to it. It's called Strategic Shift, the Third Nuclear Era. Afterwards, we have a article by the EIU, the Economist Intelligence Unit. Developments in the Middle East could reshape risk for businesses and decision makers. In a new summary report, EIU's regional experts outline scenarios that could reshape the region's economic and political outlook. There's a link right there on the page, on my Zack.coffee account. After that, we have an article by Harvard Business Review that says, make the most of your vacation when you can fully unplug. Great article. Afterward, disfigured, shamed, and forgotten, BBC visits the Korean survivor of the Hiroshima bomb. This is by BBC, very important article. Up next, by Bloomberg, SpaceX delivers astronauts to the ISS just 15 hours after launch. Great article. Up next, Trump again threatens India with harsh tariffs over Russian oil purchases. Reuters. This is by Reuters. This is because the Ukraine war is in its day 1,260, pretty much. And as you can see, a lot of things has to be done about what to stop the Russia from what they're doing in Ukraine. But a way to take out some of Russia's money is to go and see who is purchasing from Russia and who is buying this Russian oil. And obviously that's India. India is buying Russian oil. So if Trump puts tariffs on India, harsh tariffs, then they'll stop buying oil from Russia. And as a result, Russia will suffer. As a result, the war in Ukraine will be closer to the end. So that's another a great strategic move to make. And as you can see, we're only 40 days away from day 1300 in the Ukraine war, so that's not so good. Up next from Al Jazeera News, we have an article that says Palestinians distraught over relatives missing at Deadly Gaza 8 sites. It's a very scary article, very scary. A lot of news organizations are not talking much about it. Now they're talking a little bit more, but it's been more than like 2 years of suffering for the, well, actually it's been 75 years of 76 years of suffering for the Palestinian people. But recently in the genocide, since everything has been taking place from October 7th, and now it's been like more than 60,000 dead Palestinians. It's been very, very sad. So be sure to check out what's happening. If you're upset with the coverage on BBC Radio News, if you're upset with the coverage on France 24, if you're upset with the coverage on France Info, be sure to get the coverage from Al Jazeera News. Al Jazeera News, very important. Al Jazeera News is showing what's happening, and it's just very, very sad, very, very sad. I just have a hint from one of my subscribers that they want me to talk a little bit more about Nintendo, so I'll be sure to talk more about Nintendo. As you know, on Fridays we talk about video games, so on this Friday I'll try to mention Nintendo a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. We have an article from Afghanistan International that says Taliban to face People's Tribunal in Spain over abuse against Afghan women. Very great article. A big shout out to Spain for making a really, pointing the finger at these Taliban that are really abusing these women in Afghanistan. So thank you to Spain for taking care of that. After that, we have an article by Politico. Politico is saying Texas Democrats hold the line from hotel rooms as Abbott promises arrest. So this is very dangerous. There's a lot of gerrymandering. Gerrymandering in the state of Texas, where they're drawing the lines, the maps, a little bit complicated, so that the way they're doing it, it's easier for these Republicans to keep winning the state of Texas as opposed to the Democrats. Gerrymandering is a term that former President Barack Obama has been talking about for many, many years, numerous years, and unfortunately, not enough people listen. And that's the reason why we lost the election in 2024. And it was really, really problematic. And we, the same fashion, we lost the election in 2016 when Trump won for the first time, then he won for the second time in 2024. The good news is presidents can only hold 2 terms. So as long as everything goes into place, hopefully we do not see a 3rd term of Trump. That's why we have to be very careful to make sure laws are in place so that there's a president can never have 3 terms. All right. Up next, we have an article from New Yorker. There's an article saying how to live forever and get rich while doing it. So a very particular article. Be sure to check it out. Should be interesting. Up next, we have an article by The Verge. The Verge is saying one of the biggest newsletter platforms now syndicates to Blue Sky and Mastodon. His name is Ghost, and lets users plug their newsletters and blog directly into the social web. So great article. Be sure to check out by The Verge. Up next, what to do and avoid in extreme heat. Tips for keeping adults, kids, and the elderly cool and safe even with the air conditioning. This is by Vox. Check it out. Big shout out to Vox. There's a big problem for Vox. Apparently, Vox, great name. It was a great organization, has Neil Patel and a bunch of other editors. But unfortunately, the extreme right party in Spain is called Vox. So you need to figure out what to do there. You may have to change name or something. Figure that out. Up next, how decades-old frozen embryos are changing the shape of families by MIT Technology Review. This is great for couples that are having trouble conceiving and having children. It appears that this family was unable to conceive children. They did an IVF, and they were using an embryo that was over 30 years old, and they were able to have a pregnancy to its full level. So it's an amazing thing, and big shout out to that couple that was able to procreate and have their child. Amazing. Up next, Hate It. We spoke to 4 never AI Gen Zers. So this by the Business Insider. This goes to show that not all of the Gen Z kids are loving ChatGPT and Meta and Grok and Gemini and all that stuff. Some of them just hate that stuff, and they talk about this in this article. So be sure to check it out. Up next, congratulations, class of 2025. You'll always be part of the Buckeye for Life community. We're so proud of everything you've accomplished. It says an article on LinkedIn. So, big shout out, go Bucks. As you know, I am an alumnus of the class of 2009 from the Ohio State University. Being a Buckeye helped me open a lot of doors, and I was able to get to many places. Unfortunately, it did close some doors because in some places there was some University of Michigan, that state up north, that were fans of that school, and as a result, I was unable to get my foot in the door in those places. So that was frustrating. But other than that, I was able to have a big parkour. I went to numerous alcalades, numerous jobs, numerous opportunities. But right now, it's been really, really tough because obviously, like I said, I'm dealing with these pro-Michiganers who were making my life harder, even though I have a BA in economics, development economics from the Ohio State University. All right, up next, we have an article by The Guardian. House Democrats signed a letter urging Trump to recognize Palestinian statehood by The Guardian. Big shout out to the House Democrats. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much. In the House of Representatives, you're doing excellent work. We got to push this through, get this done. Really important. Up next, once a death sentence, this heart condition is finally treatable. This is by the New York Times. So be sure to check it out. This guy, elderly person, had a problem with his heart condition, and now it's been taken care of. So amazing. Be sure to check it out. Up next, Sean Diddy Combs is denied release on bond to await sentencing. That's by Huffington Post. This is excellent news. As you know, my personal opinion, I don't want to see P. Diddy released, and that's the reason because obviously he killed Tupac. So I'm really sorry to say, but he's the reason why Tupac is not alive anymore. So P. Diddy, he's got no bienveillance from me, as we say in French. Even though he has some amazing music, he has some great music. Last Train to Paris was one of the greatest albums of all time, greatest songs, great R&B. But I'm really sorry that if the guy killed Tupac, the guy killed Tupac. I'm not. I don't want. I don't like him. I just don't. Up next, by the Atlantic, Pete Higgs. I never know how to say his name. From the Pentagon is becoming a bubble. Yeah. So Pete at the Pentagon, unfortunately, is not listening to all of these other keynote speakers from other places, from other schools, from other institutions, from places that really want to give him some opinions, so some of their 2 cents, what they're thinking about. Because unfortunately, Pete needs to understand he does not have a lot of experience. He does not have accolades. He was not in the Pentagon for over 2 decades, like former SecDef Austin. Austin was in the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense. He was in the Pentagon for numerous years, and he had a lot of experience. He knew what he was doing. But Pete does not have the same level of experience. So Pete, please invite people in and let people talk to you. Let people give you advice, and let people share their comments and their thoughts. Let people give you some feedback, because you need that feedback if you want to stay at the Pentagon. The Pentagon's not a joke, okay? The Pentagon is not some kind of weekend seminar. It's not some kind of like internship. It really is not. It's the Pentagon. So please either let people who know what they're doing to help you out, or if not, you're gonna have to resign, because you're just kind of like a party goer who's on Fox News. That's Fox News experience is not experience for the Pentagon. I'm sorry to say. All right, let's move on to the next story. From 538, Doctors Without Borders, U.S. CEO Avril Benoit, Gaza aid distribution system is unsafe and inefficient. This is by 538, very important news. As you know, everyone in at Médecins Sans Frontières, at Doctors Without Borders, mentioned that everything's going wrong in Gaza and we need help. They need to let them distribute aid and give them food to all those Palestinians. Really important. Up next, by the Washington Post, how many refugees are there? This is a very important article about talking about refugees. As you know, I'm a refugee. I was I'm ethnically from Afghanistan, and I was born in Pakistan as a refugee. And then at the age of 2, we seek political asylum in France. And then I was in France from age 2 to 12, and then 2 to 14. And then when I was 14, I moved to the United States in Cincinnati, where I went to high school. Then I went to college, university at Ohio State University, and eventually moved to California in about 2011. So I've had this huge parkour. So please understand, whenever sometimes you have an irate feeling towards refugees, you need to understand a lot of people are refugees. A lot of people in America, they were able to, they came on boats that came and saw the Statue of Liberty, which actually is a gift from France. And please understand, immigrants doesn't just means Italian Americans or Americans who are from any other ethnic backgrounds. It can mean people that are Latino Americans. Latino Americans are also Americans, immigrants. And like I said myself, I'm an Afghan French American. I'm from all these 3 cultures, and I'm still a refugee. You cannot whitewash this stuff from my past. That's part of my history. You talk about heritage or this and that. It's just that a lot of people in this country are refugees and do a lot of important work. You need to understand, a lot of these people that work, that are researchers, doctors, all of those guys, especially when you go in a hospital, they're usually refugees that are the one that are helping you out. Or all these Doctors Without Borders, all these doctors that go in these poor countries to help people. A lot of them are refugees themselves. A lot of them are immigrants. So please, don't be racist towards immigrants and refugees, because you never know it when you're going to have to dial 911 and go to the hospital, and there's going to be a refugee doctor who's going to take care of you and make sure you get better. Okay? All right. After that, we have an article by Le Monde. Grand Canyon fire rages 1 month on. Massive Central California fire threatens homes. This is by Le Monde. Also, I wanted to say a big shout out to all the Cal Fire. Cal Fire is obviously the California state firefighters, and it's really sad that since August 1st, it appears that major forest fires have started in the California region. So it appears that, yeah, pretty much full on the California summer fire season has started. Really sad. And, we check our watches and it is August. So we have until November, between August and November. We have all of August, September, October, November. So that's 4 months. It's going to be 4 tough months. We have to treat all these fires, make sure they're immediately contained, get them safely, and then they have to work in conjunction with CHP and make sure that all the highway systems are well, make sure that there's no debris and all this and that so people can travel to places, work with California transit system, Caltrans and all that, and just make sure that all the roads are taken care of and good. So big shout out to you guys. I hope you keep up the good work. And like I said, right now I'm poor, so I'm unable to stop by Cal Fire or CHP and give you guys some donuts. But I hope that if you're a member of a church or of a temple or a mosque or a synagogue, whatever, if you have the capacity and the funds to buy some donuts and stop by a fire station or a police station or a CHP station and give them some donuts, they'll be much thankful. If they don't like donuts, give them a Starbucks gift card, or if they don't like that, give them a IHOP gift card or a Denny's gift card. They love to eat breakfast. They would love to have a Grand Slam or some French toast. I know I would love that. It would make me very happy, actually. All right, up next we have a story by Mashable. Mashable is saying the PS6 leak report suggests massive power boost at surprising price. This is an amazing story by Mashable. I know that Sony Japan, Sony PlayStation is not very happy about this leak, but I do want to say that I'm happy about it because obviously I'm working on very futuristic stuff. As you know, Zack Technology LLC, super intelligence, SME, subject matter expert, and all this and that. And obviously, one of the things I'm working on is obviously, yes, I am working on the PlayStation 7. The PlayStation 7, we're very excited about it. That's the next generation. So not the PlayStation 6, which is the next iteration, but the PlayStation 7. As you know, the PlayStation 7 will have, hopefully, if we do not get the Cyberpunk 2077 metaverse on the PlayStation 6, hopefully on the PlayStation 7 we'll have the Cyberpunk metaverse after the next trilogy of Cyberpunk games come out. So obviously right now there's Cyberpunk 1, Cyberpunk 2077. Next we have Cyberpunk, we saw the DLC, but we have Cyberpunk 2 that's in development right now. Then we'll have to wait for Cyberpunk 3, and that will complete the Cyberpunk first trilogy. Then we'll need the next Cyberpunk trilogy, so that will be probably during the duration of the PlayStation 6. And hopefully once those six games have been totally released along with all their DLCs, hopefully for the release of the PlayStation 7, when the system comes out, hopefully we're ready and we'll have the poster of me as V in the, whether it's in Vegas, whether it's in elsewhere, like those DJ posters, or whether it's in Japan at Tokyo Game Show and all this and that. Hopefully we'll have the Cyberpunk 2077 metaverse ready. And when we have the metaverse ready, you'll be able to use your PlayStation 7s, and you'll be able to have a keyboard and a mouse and your controller, and you'll be able to talk, interact, a little bit like Final Fantasy 14. Remember Final Fantasy 14, where characters could just have their avatars and just talk amongst themselves, chit chat. They could go inside clubs and dance. They could go inside bars and have a drink with one another. Do all of that. So hopefully it's a big ordeal. Like I said, first we have the first trilogy of Cyberpunk 2077. Then we have the second trilogy of Cyberpunk 2077 on PS6. And hopefully we'll have the Cyberpunk metaverse by the time the PS7 comes out. Fingers crossed. Maybe we'll have it sooner. It just depends on the coders, the programmers, and how fast they want to get this going. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next story. By Vice, we have a story that says a new satanic neo-Nazi group is recruiting children as young as 12. So that's a very scary story. Parents, beware, and be sure to check out the story by Vice. Very, very important. Up next, The Intercept has a story that says Trump's Gaza food centers missed the real problem at Israel's aid blockade. Very, very scary story. Like, we're trying to explain that the blockade from Israel is the source of the problem and is really preventing people from giving food to the famine of Gaza people. Let me start my watch right now and like trying to explain that the clock is ticking and we really need the blockade to be over and to give food and aid to that region so that people can eat. You saw this picture of those babies that are completely almost dying or dying dead because they didn't have any food. There's no milk. There's no powder milk or anything to give those kids to eat. It's very sad, very very sad. Up next, we have a story by Nat Geo, 6 science-backed strategies to improve your memory. This is by National Geographic. Check it out. Up next, by NPR. This story makes me mad, really, really mad. Yosemite employees worked for weeks with no pay before the government hired them. This is terrible, 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 like Charles Barkley would say. You're making these people work for free as if it's some kind of internship or, volunteering before you're actually paying them. This is ridiculous. This is no bueno. I don't like this. Be sure to read that story. Up next, we have a story in Spanish for a Spanish speaker audience because of Caperino News. Gavin Newsom wants to speak to the Spanish community and explain to them, did you see what happened? He doesn't want to tell you, I told you so, but I'm sorry, I told you so. See what he said? He said, please, you have to vote Democrat. You have to vote Democrat. The Democrats will protect you. They will help you out. And see what happened? You voted for Trump. What did Trump do? He sent all those ICE people throughout all you immigrants and Latinos and Mexicans, and he deported all you guys. Did you see? So now, please understand, I hope you have learned your lesson. It is very important to vote Democrat at all levels. You have to vote Democrat on the local level, state level, and national level. So that means you vote for Democratic congressman, you vote for all the Democrats into your district. That doesn't mean you vote for Democratic senator. That means you vote for Democratic governor. And then that means you vote for Democratic vice president and a Democratic president. That's what it means. So, adios mio, or whatever you want to say in Spanish, please understand the situation. I hope now you understand the importance of voting, that every vote counts, and that, you should have not voted for Trump and expect, you'll be able to do some illegal activity, you'll be fine, all of a sudden. No. It was all diversion. Trump, do you see what he was doing? He's part of those people, those racist people in America who like to eat Mexican food but don't want to be associated with Mexican people. Those people that you go see at Mexican restaurants that love to eat tacos and burritos, but they don't even like Mexican music, or they don't even like to hang out with Mexican people. So please vote Democrat. Learn your lesson, please. Por favor, as you would say. Okay, up next by Le Monde Diplomatique. Le numérique nous ramène-t-il au Moyen Âge? This is a story in French. Be sure to check it out. I'm sure it's translated in English. You'll be able to read it in English. Up next, what the next round of sanctions against Russia should look like. This is by Foreign Policy. Great article. Up next, tell me how this trade war ends. This is by Foreign Affairs. Great article. Be sure to check it out. Up next by The Diplomat, The Changing Skies Over Central Asia. Great article. Up next by Quantum Magazine. I forgot two articles. So let's add them in real time. Let's do this. We're going to add an article by the Cipher Brief. All right, so the story by the Cipher Brief I have is called The Middle East is Reshuffling the Deck. Is the U.S. ready to play a new hand? From the humanitarian crisis in Gaza to Iran's strategic setbacks, Norm Rule details why the region's turbulence demands fresh thinking from Washington. Okay, so the story from Intelligence Online in French, L'événement Myanmar, l'histoire secrète des mercenaires français pris dans l'enfer birman. Okay, great. Be sure to check out that story, very nice. All right, after that we have a story by Quantum Magazine. Earth's core appear to be leaking up and out of Earth's surface. Interesting story. Up next by CERN in French, voici l'installation d'un correcteur package de la IT String, un endroit où de nombreux composants innovants ont testé collectivement plus tôt cette année. Hi-Lumi LSC. Okay, after that we have a story by NASA, marking 13 years on Mars. NASA's curiosity picks up new skills. Great story. After that we have an announcement from DeliverFon, the app. They have an app that were available on iPhone. Now their app that defeats human trafficking the app is now available on Android. So very nice, amazing thing by DeliverFon. Big shout out to those guys. Up next, the Saudi Minister of Interior is visiting Interpol headquarters. So be sure to check out that story from Interpol. As you know, Interpol takes care of a lot of investigation. As you know, also, Mossad and 9/11, things like that. Up next, a story by Air and Space Force magazine. Staff Sergeant promotion see biggest jump since 2001. Great story by the Air and Space Force magazine. Up next, by Airman magazine, newest edition of Blue. This is by like Space Force, very great stuff. And after that, we have a story from Whole History of Super Street. This is by Motor Trend. Be sure to check out that story by Super Street. Okay, and then I mentioned what I was doing recently the past couple of days. I wanted to give for Monday, obviously, big shout out to President Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama. It's his birthday. I think it's his 64th birthday. So as I said, I made a joke that because it's 64, like 64 gigs of RAM, you should get a MacBook Pro, an M4 MacBook Pro. It'll be amazing. You can get it in space black, and then you can get it with you can get it with Mac OS 26. Mac OS 26 comes out next month in September or maybe in October, and it's just a wonderful laptop. It has got like 16 hours of battery life and amazing and all that. Now you should still get a Windows machine because if you get a Windows machine, you'll be able to code on it and write, and you can use Office and all this and that. Now, if you just want, and this advice goes to everybody, if you're just going to be using it for work, then just get a Surface Book. Surface Book is a great laptop by Microsoft, amazing thing, and it's just great. Now, if you want to do some gaming on it as well, then go ahead and get yourself, you can get Alienware, you can get Razer, you can get MSI, you can get all these other ones, but my favorite, what I'm using right now, is Lenovo Legion. Lenovo Legion is the laptop I'm using of choice, and I can't wait to upgrade the RAM from 16 gigs of RAM to 64 gigs of RAM. I need to do that very soon. I've been eating some corn lately. Be sure to check it out. Corn is great. Have it boiled with salt and some lemon and lime. It's really good. And don't confuse it with Heavy Metal Corn. That's the music band who was featured on Me Radio, so be sure to check them out. I've been watching a couple old episodes of Family Matters with Urkel because they're doing animated series. They're doing animated series, so those people are getting older, so they won't be able to do the shows anymore, but they could do voice acting for an animated series, so that would be great. As far as Omega Radio, the rap podcast in hip hop and R&B, we're going to feature Kanye West because Kanye West obviously has a new album. I don't think I put Donda 2 on the Omega Radio podcast, so we'll be sure to put that on there. And big shout out to South Park. South Park, there's a new episode on Wednesday, so be sure to check it out. It's going to be great. And shout out to Jay Z, which, as you know, Barack Obama loved Jay Z. So I wonder if Jay Z isn't bored by now. And we hope that Jay Z might have a new album. So hopefully, Jay Z, if you see this, you want to be featured on Omega Radio, go ahead and make a new album. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Until next time, bye bye. Everything's on the website, Zack.coffee. Please make a donation at paypal.me/IamZack if you can. And I hope you enjoyed all these Death Stranding 2 live streams. I've been doing a bunch of live streams, and then now we're up to mission 33. So next mission will be 34. So we have about 15 more missions to go, in main missions, before we do the final battle with Higgs, the final Metal Gear battle. And can't wait for it. And as always, we pray for peace in the Middle East, whether it's peace in Palestine, peace in Afghanistan, peace in Syria, peace in Sudan and Africa, peace all around the world. And as always, shout out to everybody, whether it is President Macron, really nice of him to recognize the Palestinian state in the month of September. A big shout out to Joe Biden, former President Joe Biden. Big shout out to Kamala Harris. We hope that Kamala Harris will become a Supreme Court Justice nominee in the future. A big shout out to AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Big shout out to Senator Sanders, who's getting older and older, and we hope that he enjoys his retirement soon. So we hope that people will pick up the pace, because he can't do everything all at once. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye. Oh, and Kevin Rose and Alex Albright, it's time for a new episode of Dignation episode 18. I haven't seen a new episode last week, so I hope you have a new episode for this week. It would be fun. Okay, bye guys. Let's reset the watch.